Hello, I'm very sorry for the late video. Things have been a little bit rough. Saturday afternoon, last Saturday that is, I was in a bike accident and was forced into a concrete retaining wall on a bike trail near a river by a person traveling in the oncoming lane and instinctively braced with my right hand, shaving off all of the skin on my right palm like a cheese grater and also opening up my knuckles and index finger down to the bone and bled profusely, straining all of the joints in my right arm, and it was incredibly, excruciatingly painful there for a moment, but nowhere near as painful as watching Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. I'm Dan Umphin, and this is the Doomcast. I gotta say for myself, I'm a pretty huge Venom fan. Todd McFarlane, David Michelin, Eric Larson, Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman, of course. Yes, I dug all of them. I have tons of Venom comics from his nearly 40-ish year history, well, 30 plus at least. And that said, even though I liked the first Venom movie, Venom 2 is possibly one of the most genuinely shitty comic films ever made. It is thoroughly corny, but rarely even entertainingly laughable. Every other line of dialogue is either a terrible cliche or corny pontification, and there are redeemable moments of cool CGI and good motion capture, but the entire script is plot points. The only partially developed female character that's introduced in this movie is herself just a MacGuffin, and the rest of it could be condensed down to a 30-second trailer, which it was. You have already seen Venom 2. If you saw the trailer and the leaked post-credits scene, congratulations, you have seen the whole movie and the only good parts of it at that. There is absolutely no reason then, therefore, that you should pay money to see this movie, as it's fundamentally tossed any development out in the post-credits scene itself. Which of course is that Venom and Eddie are somehow sucked into the prime MCU universe, and Venom recognizes Peter Parker, which means that they're bringing over the only two redeemable parts of Venom 2, which is of course CGI Venom and Tom Hardy. It's absolutely fine if you enjoyed this movie. I don't expect Shakespeare from superhero movies. I don't expect Shakespeare from really any movie, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't want to watch Shakespeare on the big screen. I do want, reasonable character-driven dialogue, something that actually tugs at you emotionally a little bit. All those things are optional. If you're just there for like some occasional explosions and something that you can eat popcorn to, this'll work. But the sheer terribleness of this film, from the ridiculous hair and costuming choices for Woody Harrelson, the pointless club scene, every line that they gave Shriek, it mostly held together but neither crossed the line into embracing ridiculousness in the same way that the first Venom movie did, but it took itself so seriously enough that when Carnage, the main antagonist, said out loud, "Let there be carnage!" that caused the 1:30 matinee that I was in to erupt in laughter, which is exactly what should happen if any main character in your movie says the subtitle of the movie out loud with zero context or irony. Jesus Christ, my standards for movies are not insanely high, but you would have to be to enjoy this. And it would never work for any other movie either. Imagine, if you will, Thor Ragnarok, if at some point Thor just shouted out Ragnarok out loud. People would have laughed appropriately, but then Taika Waititi would have addressed it, probably with Jeff Goldblum asking him directly, "Why did you just say Ragnarok for no reason?" And it would have been very funny. Could you imagine if Christopher Reeve in Superman 4: The Quest for Peace says in all seriousness, "We're on a quest for peace," like it's some kind of pithy statement with absolutely no irony whatsoever, and nodding at him, "No the fuck you can't," because that absolutely ridiculous excuse for a movie which made it impossible to make another Superman movie for 20 frickin' years was not nearly as ludicrous as Venom 2: Let There Be Carnage. Venom 2 may not be the worst comic book film ever made. It is, however, extremely close by mere hairs and definitely in Batman and Robin and Catwoman territory. It is amazing how much I appreciate Tom Hardy and will forgive him as Venom, given the two movies which are merely passable as such. But the news that Tom Hardy is now being added to the MCU as Venom is very welcome, and indeed maybe the absolute worst part of the MCU is not nearly as bad as the best of the Sony peripheral non-Spider-Verse universe has been. This has been the Doomcast. May God have mercy on your soul.